Hi guys, today we're going to be learning about iteration, so I will just get right into it. So iteration literally just means looping something, so that will be helpful if you're aware of this. So I'm just going to be going over a question right here. There's a calculator here, but you'll see what that is in a second. Show that, I'm going to just be going over the first question right here, so show that x cubed minus 3x equals 1 has a solution between x equals 1 and x equals 2. What we're going to do is just start off with writing down our question here, then substituting the values in. So x equals 1, we're going to substitute it into this, and we'll check our value right here. And then we're going to substitute our other value in, which is 2. So 2 cubed minus 3 times 2 equals 2. So now we can check these values here, and as you can see, the original value that we're trying to find is 1, and that value of 1 is in between the values of minus 2 and 2 here. So therefore the value has to be between 1 and 2, as 1 is in between the two values that are possible here. So now we're going to just rearrange this formula to get that. So we're going to write this again, then add 3x on both sides to get this, then cube root that to get this value right here. So this value can also be shown as the iteration formula, so we can just write that down there. So x n plus 1 equals cubed root 3x plus 1. So now we're going to use that value twice. I'll show you that in a second to estimate the value here. So now we're going to be going over how to actually work out the solution of x cubed minus 3x equals 1. So we're going to use our starting value of x0 here, which is the first term of x, even though it's 0, so technically it's the 0th term of x, but that equals 1. So then we can substitute our value of 1 into this formula here to get x1. Well, since we need to use it twice, so we'll do that in a second. But it would be cubed root 3 times 1 from here, plus 1, which gives us a value of 1.587, so on. So now we have our first value of x1, and we have to do that again. So we resubstitute the value here back into the formula. So we end up with 3 times 1.57 plus 1 to the cubed root, which is that as a value. So 1.79. So now this does estimate the solution of x cubed minus 3x equals 1. So if I use a calculator to check this, it would not be very accurate because we've only done this twice. So that's why I kept on doing this on the calculator and I got 1.879 so on. So what I'm going to do is put this into a calculator right here. So 1.87 cubed minus 3x from here, so it would be minus 3 times that, and it gives us a value that's very, very close to 1, as you can see here. So the more you use the iteration formula, the closer it would get to the more close value, basically, to get your value of 1 there. So now we're going to be going over some A-level maths. So you don't have to watch this, but I spent a long time making it. So basically what I've done here is, I'll show this on a thing actually. Okay, so first of all, the first line we're going to plot is y equals x. This is the just basic line that we need to use. And the second line we're going to use is we're going to get our formula from here, the iteration formula, and then we're going to make this x n plus 1 into a y. We're going to substitute y into that. We'll get y equals root 3. So root 3s are kind of annoying to do. root 3, then 3x plus 1. So we get our graph right here. So now that you know how we find make the graph, I've just listed a set of all of the iteration values that we had from before, and I've just done the graph here. And as you can see, where it overlaps, is this coordinate right here, which will be important. So just going to plot our points here. So first we have x0 equals 1. So x0 equals 1 is here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go from the y equals x line up to here. And we draw a line just like that. Then we go all the way horizontally back to this line here, like that. So now, which it perfectly lines up with our x1 value, which is 1.58. So we can put that there, and it fits perfectly. So we're just going to repeat the steps and go here and then here, which would be 1.79, which is our x2 value, so then it would be here. And the more you do this, the closer it gets to the value intersecting here. And as we know from before, the value here is the value that equals 1, or closest to equaling 1. So that's why that works. So now there are two different types of diagram for iteration. So the one I just went over was the staircase diagram. This is convergent because this goes closer to the line rather than further away, which would be divergent. So this one is pretty simple, just following like a staircase. The cobweb diagram is slightly different because it starts up and then goes lower. So it's the same thing as this one, but just the iteration values are like slightly bigger and smaller than the line each time. So it ends up in a spiral shape. So that is everything. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. But yeah, thanks for watching.